Welcome to HoodooTube, your one-stop shop for reviews of fantasy, horror, and supernatural entertainment for the African diaspora. In an age where social media users are constantly debating whether the race of certain superheroes should be changed from how they were originally animated in the comic books in order to be more diverse, I believe we are ignoring captivating characters in comic books who already have diverse storylines. Nubia is an Amazonian superhero who has been fighting the forces of evil for decades, but admittedly, I, as well as many others, are likely not as aware of this superhero like we may be aware of other women comic book characters, including Wonder Woman, Storm, or Supergirl. Nubia has already been distinguished as DC Comics' first black woman superhero in the comics franchise history when she was introduced into the comics in 1973 as Wonder Woman's sister. She eventually would be more commonly written as her longtime ally and friend, who grew up alongside Wonder Woman. In some of the first comics that she's featured in, Nubia actually challenges Wonder Woman to a duel on Themyscira, or otherwise known as Paradise Island, the home of the Amazons, and she wins the battle. And since then, there has been a contention for the title of Wonder Woman. In many comics, Nubia still rules over the Amazons as their queen. One important aspect of Nubia's story is that she is the guardian of the Doom's Doorway, or the Gates of Tartarus, a portal between the Amazonian homeland, Paradise Island, and Hades and the Underworld. Paradise Island, also known as the Themyscira, is an alternate land where former women warriors who died in battle are reborn and live as Amazons who train for the war against good and evil till the end of the world. Greek gods like Ares are constantly fighting against Nubia and her Amazonian army, and other monsters like Medusa are constantly trying to leave the underworld by breaching the Doom's Doorway. There would be a huge drought of appearances of Nubia in comics from the late 1970s to the late 1990s, but she would reappear in several DC comics like Batman in the 2000s. Nubia, whose human name is Zahava, is now featured in her own graphic novels in compilation books like Nubia, Queen of the Amazons, released in 2022. So it's clear Nubia is gaining popularity if she's starring in her own graphic novels. The synopsis of this novel reads: after the events of Trial of the Amazons, a new era for these warriors has dawned. Amazons from around the world have come to Themyscira to witness history and the crowning of their new leader. She stood between man's world and the dangers of Doom's Doorway for centuries. When she was called upon to serve her people, she stood strong and clear-eyed, unafraid to look certain death in the face. She has united peoples on the brink of war. End quote. Another interesting aspect of Nubia's story is that many writers who've written for Nubia make sure to write her as a bisexual woman who loves women. According to DCFandom.com, Nubia is currently in a relationship with another Amazon, the blacksmith named Lo. She also had a brief relationship with Miss Knight in Man's World, who was reborn as the Amazon Andromeda. In her human life as Princess Zahava, she had an unrequited love for Lieutenant Azaria. I also love the way Nubia is animated. She's one of the most stunning comic book characters I've seen. She's the cover star of several Pride editions of DC Comics during Pride season in 2022 and 2023. I definitely think in this day and age, Nubia could easily be the star of her own movie or TV series, since we've seen similar strong women characters like Wonder Woman, Xena the Warrior Princess, or the Woman King become successful projects. And I think if movie studios are looking for diverse stories to add to our screens, I'd love to see Queen Nubia come alive in future live-action DC film projects.